Oh, motherfucker, you can't have my cornbread. That's for damn sure. Because if you try to take my cornbread, part 2 of my killing spree gonna begin up in here on your ass right now. If you think about my cornbread, get the taste out your mouth. That's for damn sure. Now, fuck him. Fuck that. Because I'm from New York City, goddammit. Nobody take no cornbread from me. That goes for you and any other you motherfucking farmers wanna try some shit. You fuck around with me, it's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
Haters gonna hate.
What up, what's good, fam? It's your boy Trey, Fraser, Maestro Styles here in the house, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. We're live on the website at barbershopsportstalkpodcast.com. Make sure y'all follow us on social media. We got the Twitter handle at barbershopspor2. Also, we got the Facebook page, and you can find us on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Plus, we got the YouTube page, so make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube page as well. We got week 1 in the NFL wrapped up. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, Maestro. Just one thing before we kind of get rolling here. I'm disappointed of the news that I got today in regards to Breonna Taylor and that whole situation. So it was announced earlier that the city of Louisville came to a settlement of $12 million for the family. Now, just so I'm clear, I'm not disappointed that the family got a settlement. I'm disappointed that they got a settlement without Breonna Taylor's killers still being out there, and this whole decision about whether they're gonna, press charges and all that is still out there. So I'm really disappointed that these two things aren't happening at the same time. I mean, the family, good for them, they got the money, but we want more than just the family to get the money. We want them to get the money, plus we want them to get the justice that they deserve.
Yeah, 100%. So with all that being said, we are going to continue to say her name. Breonna Taylor was unjustly murdered, and those officers who murdered her need to be brought to justice. That's good that they got their money. God bless them. I'm glad that they they got some money. I'm glad they got some money, but I mean, we're not gonna sit here and pretend like that's going to be the thing that's not proper justice. They don't. $12 million is not gonna bring that girl back, that woman back.
Yeah, facts.
That family. That family is lost their child or their sister or their cousin. Aunt or whoever, niece or whoever, every role that she played in a family dynamic or friend dynamic, she's gone out of that dynamic, and money won't solve that. And if I'm being honest, just that them people going to jail won't either, but that needs to happen.
Yes, yeah. If anything, I would have wanted to hear first that they arrested her killers for this.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm glad they got some money and got a little come up, but this ain't. Nah, that's not what equal rights are.
It's not enough.
They did a crime,
right? And
they should be, tried for it. They should be put in jail for it.
Right. I saw a post on my Facebook feed earlier today. It was from one of my friends from high school, and he's kind of a troll. And a matter of fact, I think we had him on like 2-3 years ago. But he put on his feed that Breonna's family was getting the settlement, and that, hey, y'all can just stop now. And in my head, I'm like, stop what? I ain't stopping from saying her name. I'm not gonna stop, putting the message out there that her killers is still loose. I'm not gonna stop any of that. For what? Like, I understand you're kind of pessimistic on that front. I get that, but don't tell other people to stop bringing awareness to it. Like, that's just wrong to me.
Yeah, it's just another reminder of where we are in the world when it comes to or where we are in the United States, or where we are in the world. I mean, I don't know how we're treated in the world. It just goes to show you how far we are, how far we got to go.
Yeah.
We still have work to do as a community, as a black people. So we'll keep fighting the fight. Like I said, we'll continue to say her name, Breonna Taylor. Rest in peace, and to all of our fallen family members and our comrades and these people that have been done unjustly in the hands of systematic oppression, racism, and crooked or at bare minimum bad police officers. Rest in peace, and we're going to continue fighting. We're going to continue speaking. We're going to continue, doing what we can to help move the needle.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Shout out to her family and everybody. Let's continue to fight, and let's keep bringing that awareness. Don't stop. So, NFL, man. I guess where I want to start, and I did get a little bit of breaking news on my Twitter feed in regards to the New Orleans Saints. Michael Thomas tweaked that ankle in the game against the Bucs Sunday, and it's looking like he's going to miss several weeks. And now that could be 2 weeks, that could be a month, it could be a month and a half. I don't know how severe it is, but that's going to be a big blow for the Saints if he's not there. So,
for sure.
As far as the game goes, it's kind of what I expected. Not maybe with the exception of Brady throwing those, picks the way he did, but I kind of saw the Saints kind of going away with this one.
Yeah, look, I'll say this. The Saints are the better team. I trust that this second game will probably be a better game. Do you know what week this second game is going to be this year? Saints versus the Bucs?
I don't know what week it is. I know it's a Sunday night game.
Okay. I trust that, Tampa, they'll be a little bit better, as far as their chemistry. And, I mean, the fact of the matter is that the Buccaneers have had a crazy turnaround. The next time they play is November the 8th.
Okay.
So
Sunday night, right?
Sunday night, yes.
Yep.
They'll have they'll be more familiar with each other. The Saints didn't have as heavy a turnaround as the Buccaneers did coming into week one, obviously.
Right.
They got things to work out. It's things like Mike Evans, stopping in the middle of a route.
Right.
There's things that maybe he would do with another Bucs quarterback. That's not something you do with Tom Brady.
Right.
The running game was okay, but it wasn't, it wasn't there yet. I mean, Leonard Fournette didn't get as many carries as some people would have liked.
Right. What did he get, like 5 carries for 15 yards or something like that?
Something like that, like that. So, I mean, it's just a lot to insert in your first game. They played well. I'll say this. The Buccaneers defense, I believe, will get a lot better as the year goes on. Mm-hmm. They look good on defense. They do look good on defense. I mean, obviously they shot themselves in the foot a few times. More, mental mistakes, but from the capacity of how they, attack the ball,
right,
how they play the run, they look sharp for the most part. This team is a team to be reckoned with. I'm not straying from my pick as far as the Saints winning division, but this will at least be interesting in the NFC South.
Well, that Michael Thomas injury could certainly be a difference maker if he's out, let's say, 4 weeks. That could certainly make a decision about who wins that division now.
You ready to come off of that? You ready to come off of that for Michael Thomas? And I get
no.
he's the number one guy.
No,
100%.
I'm not ready to come off of that, but it wouldn't shock me one bit if, like, let's say he's out 4 weeks, and let's say the Saints go 1-3, or really at worst 2-2. Even if they go 2-2, when the Bucs somehow get their act together, it could be a big difference down the stretch, man. I mean,
well, I'll say this: their next 4 games are the Raiders, the Packers, the Lions, and the Chargers. These are their next 4 games
for the Saints.
For the Saints, that's correct. I can see them going.
Michael Thomas. You ain't got Michael Thomas.
I can see him going 2-2. I don't disagree, but if I'm being honest, I can see him going 4-0.
When you look at the opponents, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Man, I doubt they go 4-0.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying I can see it happening. I mean, they could go 4-0 just as well as they could go 2-2 with those 4 next opponents.
Right.
Buccaneers have the Panthers, the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Bears.
Yeah, now that's a little more
kind of the same thing. That's the easier schedule, yes.
Yeah, a little more favorable, and they got their weapons. That's the key there too. So,
but then again, it's still gonna be that thing. Is all this gonna come together in a week? Is it all gonna come together in 2 weeks? Is it gonna come together in 3 weeks? They made a lot of mistakes, more specifically on defense, but they made a lot of mistakes, silly penalties in that game.
Yeah.
That played a hand in them losing that game.
They did. It did. And that's one concern for me with the Bucs moving forward because, and I kind of hate to compare the Patriots and the way they did things for so many years under Tom Brady to this situation with the Buccaneers, but when you contrast the two, the Patriots play smarter. Like you rarely see mistakes that the Bucs made from the Patriots in previous seasons with Tom Brady. And that's going to be the thing moving forward is that the Bucs historically, I mean, you go back 5-10 years, I mean, these kinds of mistakes is what festers within this organization. So is Tom Brady just going to come in and just kind of all of a sudden these players are going to, be smarter?
Of course not.
That's right. And, so he's going to have to overcome the fact that he's in a culture where, these guys are going to make some silly mistakes here and there. And that's the interesting thing for me moving forward with this team is how does he adjust to that? You're right about the Mike Evans connection. You're right. I think they do need to get on a much better rapport for that. And I think the lack of preseason has shown that, at least this team. Other teams, it's, kind of shown the same way, but I think they're going to have to get that worked out. They'll, when they practice, they'll, work those kinks out. And, as far as the running game goes, it is funny because I watched the first couple drives and it looked like they were trying to establish the run like real early.
Mm-hmm.
They were really trying to establish it and really make Tom Brady more comfortable in the pocket, just not, making him throw too much. But the interceptions, and then all of a sudden you got to, throw your way back in the game. So I think that's a good start for them, moving forward is trying to establish that run game.
Yeah, I mean, this is the best talent team Tom Brady's been on.
Yeah.
Like,
what did Gronk get? Gronk didn't have a good game either. He had like 2 catches for
I mean, he only had like 3 targets maybe, so it's not like he just wasn't a factor in the offense. A guy who people spoke about all throughout the game and somebody that we should look out for, just because this is is comfortable for Tom Brady is Scotty Miller. He's that Julian Edelman, Wes Welker build. So he did find him a few times, but that would be the guy to look out for, even in especially early, even amidst having the big guys like the Mike Evans and the and the good ones.
The Godwins,
he was good. Godwins, I'm sorry, he's been good. He was good, Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But Scotty Miller is kind of his speed, Tom Brady's speed. He's familiar with that, that build of receiver.
Yep.
So at least as he's getting comfortable, you should, start to look out for that connection.
Mm-hmm. And now that I think about it, Gronk is on a roster where there's other weapons compared to the Patriots. So
O.J. Howard is a better tight end right now, probably.
Yeah, and the other two receivers are better than Julian Edelman and whoever was the number 2 there. So,
well, I'm just speaking about Scotty Miller's a young cat. I think he's like 5'10". He's probably $170 soaking wet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's familiar with that build of receiver that can get in the small spaces and get open.
Right.
Fast. So that's why I'm speaking about Scotty Miller, and that he would probably start seeing more targets starting as early as next week. I would think,
right,
because that's a familiar style of play at wide receiver for Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess the point I'm trying to make with Gronk is that you shouldn't expect like the old Gronk in terms of the numbers that he put up in New England with this roster, because there's more options. He's not the number one the way he was with the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
But Saints 1-0. Tampa Bay got some work to do. We'll see what happens moving forward. We're definitely going to monitor the Michael Thomas situation with the ankle, and we'll see what happens. I think at best they go 2-2. Do that next 4 games. I think at best they go 2-2.
Okay.
So
let me say real quick before I forget, man. We probably should have said at the beginning of the show. I want to congratulate our podcast comrade Vince Wright, who today is doing his 200th show of the Sports Done Right show with Vince Wright, the governor. Congratulations, homie. Wish we could tune in, but obviously, as we've conflicted with show timing in the past forever, for as long as I can remember.
Yep.
So if let me send a special shout out, congratulations to Vince Wright on his 200th show.
Yeah, Vince Wright, congrats on 200 episodes. I know how challenging it could be to get 200 of these things out of the way. We just did 200 about 3 months ago. Mm-hmm. And it's just amazing that we're able to do this for so long. And I texted him about a week ago, and I told him that I'd do like a little voiceover for his show tonight to kind of congratulate him. It kind of slipped my mind a little bit, and things just kind of got busy. But certainly want to congratulate Vince Wright on 200 episodes of the Sports Done Right show, which you can find on Spreaker.com. And also on any of the X Squad affiliate websites. So, much love to him.
Yes,
I met
sir.
Vince Wright 3 years ago. Cool dude, very hospitable. Can't say enough about the guy. Pretty cool guy. Has a dope show. And maybe if he's still on when we get off, I might just, give him a call on the show or something if he's still on.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Vince Wright on that.
Yes,
so, I want to go into this game for the Lions and the Bears, and I get that this wasn't like the, one of the top matchups this week, but, every now and then when you're watching the game and you're looking at the score of these other games, you're like, all right, the Lions are, they kind of going away with this one. Mitchell Trubisky is stinking to join up again. For about 3 quarters, and then next thing you know, the Lions became the Lions, and somehow the Bears won this game. What was it, 27-23? I think the score was. And I think a couple of things turned this game around for the Bears. Number one, It was a turnover by Detroit. I think it was a fumble that put the Bears in a good field position. They get the touchdown there. And then Matt Stafford inexplicably throws an interception when you got that very much time in the game left. I think it was like 2 minutes and 50-something seconds to go, and they're up by 2 scores. At that point, the Lions are up by that much, and then he throws the interception, and again, Mitch Trubisky's got the good field position. He scores a touchdown. And then the Lions, I think they gave it right back up. I might be getting that sequence a little bit mixed up there, but I think the Bears took the lead after the Stafford interception, now that I think about it. So there were a couple of things before that interception that happened, and then I think the biggest blunder of the game was the swift drop in the end zone that would have sealed it for the Lions at the end there. With about, I think, 6 seconds left. And that was all she wrote. Detroit blows another game like they've always done for so many years. And the Bears, I think it's safe to say, escaped the football game with a W.
Yeah, you summed it up. I don't pretend like I watched that game. I didn't. What I saw immediately is what I said before the game even started was they were going to make sure that Adrian Peterson got the ball. Mm-hmm. He had like 93 yards on like 14 carries, which means not only did he get the ball, not only did he split carries with DeAndre Swift, but he outran him, against a good Bears defense. So you should expect to see that more for all you fantasy owners out there. Secondly, DeAndre Swift, was touted to be that guy before the Adrian Peterson. This is just bad for DeAndre Swift, man. Again, I don't think they're going to diminish his role any more than it's already been diminished with Adrian Peterson coming in. But that drop was costly, man, and he definitely lost a couple of points with that coach. I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't care for the coach really. In my book, I think he's kind of in over his head. But yeah, that swift drop was a very costly one, and
that was going to be a good win for Detroit.
It was, yeah. It's just like it's kind of like they started last year. Like they was in these close games, they was in the lead, and then one of the players would do something stupid, cough the ball up, and then they give the game away. It's just like it's just saying, the more things change, the more they remain the same, and that's been the Detroit Lions for so many years.
We ain't got no expectations for neither one of these teams, no way. So
no, not at all. But I think those first 3 quarters by Trubisky, I wasn't surprised at that. I think at some point you're gonna see Nick Foles in this season for the Bears. If he keeps, stinking his joint up the way he had for 3 quarters.
But they won the game, and he had a good fourth quarter. So
they won the game. Yes, yeah.
So if they do that,
8 for 10. If
they do that, I don't know that Nick Foles would be,
Yeah. Well, you can't do it for just a quarter.
If you win the game, can't you?
Well, we'll see what happens because they're not going to. If you play Detroit Lions every week, then yeah, but you're going to play some smarter teams coming up on the schedule. So,
well, like I said, if you win in games, why can't you? I don't see why they would bench him if he was winning games.
Yeah, well, it depends. He's got to play extremely bad for them to really be like, all right, we're done with you.
Like I said, this is the guy they drafted, and look, we know Nick Foles ain't going to be the replacement, the permanent answer.
Right. But they also declined Mitchell Trubisky's option.
Of course they did. Of course they did. They should have, but But as it stands right now, he still has that opportunity to get a contract.
He has an opportunity, yes.
And as the guy that they drafted, like right now, is a make or break season, much like what Mariota had last year. This is a make or break season as to if you're going to be a starting quarterback or you're going to be a backup somewhere next year.
Yep. But let them start losing games. and he doesn't play well enough to win those games.
Sure.
And I think you'll start to see some of that.
Obviously. But like I said, if he plays 3 bad quarters and 1 good fourth quarter and comes with the game, he'll be there.
He'll survive, yeah. He'll survive. I guess I'm saying I don't think you're going to expect that every week. Like, you're not going to play the Detroit Lions every week. I think if you play a much better team, they're not going to let you do that. They're not going to let you come back against them. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. What the hell was going on in that Eagles-Washington game, man? That was actually a game that was shown in my area and that I was kind of flipping back and forth between. It was 17-0, and I was like, oh, okay, the Eagles got this, and then Washington put together a drive toward the end of the first half. I think they were down by 10 points at that point. It was 17-7. And then here comes the second half, and Carson Wentz is just, giving the ball up in a couple of moments.
I think that first and foremost credit due to that Washington football team defensive line.
Yep.
That front seven is, and more specifically that front four.
All homegrown draft picks, right?
Man.
Yeah.
Them boys are some dogs. They are a force to be reckoned with. That front seven is a force to be reckoned with. That defense, that front seven will keep them in games. Now, I'm not saying they'll win games.
Yep.
But they will certainly keep them in games if they continue at the pace they played at in week 1. Yep. Kudos to them. Carson Wentz is Carson Wentz, man. I mean, we seen this story. Like, he likes to hold the ball too long. He likes to try to make things happen when it's not necessarily nothing there.
Right.
Secondly, the wide receivers. I mean, Deshaun Jackson was injured.
Yep.
That rookie Rager.
Jalen Rager or something like that?
Yeah. The guy that they drafted to be a top-notch receiver.
Right.
Wasn't in game 1. Running game, man.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders, the guy that they thought was going to be the guy this year. Yeah, offensive line. Let's not pretend like that right side didn't suffer injuries in that in game.
Yeah, no Lane Johnson on that offensive line either.
Yeah, and that's not to take anything from the Washington football team's defensive line and their performance.
Yeah,
but it should be noted that they definitely did suffer injury on that line, a major one on that line. So there's that. But you would expect at this phase of the game, Carson Wentz got to rise above all that, and he didn't. So he should catch smoke for that.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Opinion.
And I do want to give a shout out to Dwayne Haskins for playing a better second half of football than he did in the first half of the game, and sort of was the contributor to them, coming back from this deficit. I thought he played well.
And I don't well.
I thought he played well. It wasn't great.
I think he managed.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't think he played. I don't think he played great. I thought he played okay.
He just stopped making. He just did better. He did better. He was a competent quarterback.
He settled down.
Yeah. Okay. Settled down. That's a better way to say it.
He settled down.
I don't look at that game and say, let me, with all due respect, the turkey, the MVP definitely goes to that defensive line.
The defense, no question.
And I don't see me handing it to anybody else.
No question. The defense gets the game ball.
Yeah,
100% agree with you there. But Dwayne Haskins, first half versus second half, totally different. Obviously, helped out by his defense. Didn't mess it up. Played a lot better.
Saved by his defense.
What's that?
Saved by his defense. Not helped out. Saved. He was saved by that defense.
Yeah. I mean, you get a shutout in the second half. I mean, that's
Yeah,
pretty damn
he was
good.
saved by that. Yeah, he was saved by that defense. Yeah.
That's pretty damn good. Like how many short fields did he get? He got at least a couple short fields because of them turnovers.
And Peyton Barber did the scoring. I mean, now albeit in the red zone, but
yeah.
Peyton Barber did the scoring. Look, Dwayne Haskins got a long way to go. He got a long way to go. But shout out to him for putting Davon McNeil on the back of his helmet, who was a young man who was shot over the summer in Southeast.
Was that the one shootout you was telling me about? Was that the one?
Yeah. Well, one of many. There's been at least two that I've spoken about on the podcast. Amidst a few more that's happened over the summer, but that Devon McNeil was a little youngin. He played football, like a little 11-year-old little boy who got shot at a peace rally.
I remember. Yeah. Yeah. Rest in peace. So, let's get to this Green Bay game. Green Bay and Minnesota, and Aaron Rodgers, man. Aaron Rodgers. He threw for like 460-something, 4 touchdowns. And, I think it was just no doubt that after a certain point in the game that, the Packers were just going to coast, and, beat the Vikings. I think the lack of not having Danielle Hunter in the lineup has shown with the Vikings, because the Packers were able to do anything and everything they wanted to do offensively. And the Vikings, if I'm not mistaken, they got a couple of rookie corners back there. And certainly not a good look. I mean, there's some growing pains to go through, but if you Aaron Rodgers and you got rookie corners trying to cover your guys, I mean, you got to eat them up every single time. So, shout out to the Packers.
I'll make it quick. I didn't really feel like this was outside of the fact that it's the Packers, it's Aaron Rodgers, it's a division game. This game didn't really move the needle for me. One, because it was a blowout. Two, it just speaks to who the king of that division is. We know it is noted. It just would have been a much more interesting headline, per se, if the Vikings had won this game, or if they had even played it competitively.
Yep.
It just wasn't. It's the dad whipping the son, per se. It's just the brother beating up the little brother, per se. It's just, the Packers are right now just the class of the division. I don't know if we said this, but Dalvin Cook got an extension.
Yeah, we did.
We did? Okay.
We did.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
He got his money.
Okay, yeah. So I definitely wanted to point that out.
Yep. Yeah, one thing about this game, and we'll move to the next one, I think the turning point was the safety that Kirk Cousins took in the end zone there. And I think right after that, I think that was kind of all she wrote for the Vikings at that point. They couldn't stop the Packers from moving the ball offensively right after that. And so you have that. And then and it was just some bad play offensively by Minnesota, man. It's like, Kirk Cousins, like we praise this guy for, beating the Saints in the playoffs this past season, and then
should be praised for that.
Yeah, definitely should be praised for that. You thought it would be like a turning, point in his career, and then obviously he didn't beat the Niners, but I think we all expected that.
I never thought that was a turning point for Kirk Cousins.
Well, I'm saying you would have thought once that happened, once they beat the Saints, you're like, okay, maybe he's starting to, turn something here, and then he loses to the Niners, and then he loses the opener to a division rival. But yeah, they got a long way to go, man. I think the Vikings are in trouble, and I know it's early.
But again, Kirk Cousins is still a top 15 guy, production wise and talent wise. No, I ain't gonna go that far with all these black quarterbacks dogging right now. Talent, he's a top 15 guy. But
I'm not
You
sure.
know,
I'm not even sure about that. He might be
yeah,
number 16, number 17 for real.
right. If you're keeping it real, right. But
Yeah.
let's say this: he's a competent enough guy with a team around him to get the job done. Obviously, he's going to miss Diggs. He's going to miss that. I know they got rid of cornerbacks because they were getting older.
Yep.
So I mean, you kind of retooled that, but
Yep.
they got some ways to go. Again, just another team that we ain't worried about. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it just
They better
ain't.
hope Daniil Hunter comes back at some point in the season, if it's not too late for them.
Yeah, they don't move the needle. Like I said, they just don't move the needle.
Yeah. Yep. Cam Newton's debut with the Patriots, I thought, was a good debut for Cam Newton in that offense. The way Belichick put him in positions to succeed in the offense, changed it up, totally, completely, to fit Cam. I like the running. I mean, Cam obviously could still, move that ball when he's running it. And I like the fact that he's healthy. Like, the dude looks 100% healthy right now. And I think that's scary for the Buffalo Bills right now. And I get the Bills, handle their business against the Jets, but if Cam could keep playing like this, man, and they continue to play defense the way they're playing, the Patriots, that is, yeah, the Bills are not out of the woods yet as far as being the new champs of the East.
Yeah, well, I don't got them being the new champs of the East. I got the Patriots being the champs of the East.
Yep.
First off, secondly, this wasn't a good litmus test, in my personal opinion, of them, of where they are as a team playing the Miami Dolphins. It just didn't move the needle for me. Cam Newton ran in 2 touchdowns. It's good to see him. It's good to see him in good spirits, healthy, playing football, starting football, NFL caliber football. He looks like he'll be fine this year. But again, it was against the Dolphins. The Dolphins had a good half of the season for what it's worth, but they are still the Dolphins. This don't move the needle for me. They need a litmus test for me to come out and say anything. I want to get to this whole chain snatching incident.
Yeah, word. Niggas trying to snatch his chain.
Allegedly, they got into a little skirmish or whatever.
Yeah.
And I forget who it was on the Dolphins, but allegedly somebody tried to take his chains off of him, tried to Michael Crabtree him, and they asked him about it in the post game. He said that it was there. He got both chains on. He good. He put out a post saying, both my chains here, I'm good.
Yeah.
I forget who the player was. Somebody from the Dolphins chimed in on social media, was like, "Don't nobody want your raggedy ass chains." But my question is, Trey.
Yep.
And first of all, we know them chains ain't raggedy. Cam is a millionaire a few times over. But why they think Cam Newton somebody to play with?
I don't know.
Why they think Cam Newton could be Michael Crabtree? Like, it's funny because I saw on social media thread somebody saying, like, Cam out here playing tough. He ain't no tough guy for real. He out here faking. And my last incident or remembrance of him having an incident was when he pulled up on Kelvin Benjamin.
Yep.
And Kelvin Benjamin didn't want to smoke.
Yep.
Another incident is, and I get that these were kids, but did you see the video maybe last year of some little kids talking trash about Cam Newton, and then Cam Newton rolled up on and said, "What?" And then what I'm saying, and got him to chill. What I'm saying?
I didn't see that.
It was funny. It was funny as hell because it's funny to me because I like that. Like, he ain't do nothing malicious, but it was like, who you thought you was about to try to play a game with me? Like,
right,
a little younger, like you a kid, like stay in a kid's place.
Right.
So for me, and how his last 2 instances have been solid instances. Say what you want about his play on the field, but he never struck me to be a sucker. So I don't know why people testing him right now.
Well, first, let me say shout out to Aqib Talib. He announced his retirement over the week.
Did he really?
Yes, he did. He did.
The original chain snatcher.
The original OG as far as chain snatching. Whoever this cat was on the Dolphins that tried to come at Cam with the chain snatching, bro, you not Aqib Talib, bro. You not that nigga, man.
Got that chain off. That's all I'm saying.
And Cam Newton is not Michael Crabtree. So I don't know who you are. You relevant to me, but you not Aqib Talib, bro.
You still holding on to this Dolphins win the East?
Well, I didn't say they win the East. I said they make a
wild
wild
card.
You had
a wild card. I'm sorry.
I'm holding on. I'm holding on because, look, Fitzpatrick was Fitzpatrick again. He threw 3 interceptions in this game. And at some point, Maestro, Tua gonna come in, man, and Tua gonna take over.
Well, what if he throws 3 touchdowns next week? I don't even know who they play, but I mean, you saying he's Fitzpatrick again, but he might surround and throw 3 interceptions, and the media be calling him Fitzmagic again.
That is true. That is true. But if Fitzpatrick goes on a stretch where he's just terrible, if it's 3 games in a row where he's just not good at all, then I expect to see Tua suiting up for the Dolphins and
let's be
just
clear. I
not
agree
looking
with
back.
you that we'll see Tua this year.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it'll be to about week 7, week 8. But even with that said, I don't have that much faith that Tua is going to at week 7, week 8 turn his team around and get him into the wild card. But we don't have to go down that rabbit hole again.
Nah, we don't. We'll see what happens there. Let me give some shout outs to the chat room. We got Mocha Bella repping X Squad. She says the Dolphins plays the Bills this week. So yeah, that'll be another tough matchup for the Dolphins there.
And probably will be a loss.
Yep. We got Big Kev 303 from Denver.
What's happening? A1 day 1. And
we got the Sports Gov, Vince Wright. What up, fam? Appreciate
Happy
you.
200, man.
Yes, sir. Congrats on 200 episodes, man. So let me get to my game for a minute. I was trying to hold off until the end there, but this was the one item that I had on here in my notes that says Baker still sucks, and the Ravens just basically just blew the Browns out the building, 38-6.
I'm going to attack you. in our publicly. I'm going to attack you if you don't mind. So when I texted you earlier this week or yesterday, and I asked you what were the important games to cover,
okay,
it was hilarious to me that you thought that the Ravens-Browns game was an important game to cover. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Well, no, let me not tell you why. Why is this we knew what was going to happen. We know the Browns are trash. We know not. Let me say this.
6 points? With all that talent, 6 points?
Yeah, the Browns. But it's not much different from what they were doing last year. Underachieving. Baker Mayfield has not come. Now, if you told me that Baker Mayfield played stride for stride with Lamar Jackson, and this was a close game, but Baker Mayfield is the same guy. Is the same guy he was last year as of week 1. Clearly, they shut down. If you shut down Nick Chubb, you shut down the offense. And nobody on that defense outside of Myles Garrett and maybe Denzel Ward is really worth talking about on Cleveland's defense. And those 2 guys alone ain't gonna be able to stop Lamar Jackson in the offense. It was not funny, but it was because I got Hollywood Brown on my fantasy teams, both teams actually.
Right.
It was like, damn. So it seemed like it was a flash, and he had 100 yards in receiving. It was just like, all right, well, we know this ain't going. This is a quick, easy dissemination. This doesn't even. It's just like, yeah, it's the Browns and it's the Ravens. We know what the Browns do. We know what the Ravens do. The Ravens, obviously are Super Bowl contenders again this year because of Lamar Jackson and the things they've added. This is more of the same to me.
So 2 things. So when you posed that question yesterday, I had the mindset that, okay, he's asking about what were the matchups to look forward to entering the week, before they started playing the games. I didn't take that as, okay, the games are over. We know what the final scores are. Okay, let's list the top 5 games from the week. I didn't take it. Okay. I didn't take it that way.
Okay.
And number 2, regardless of whether the Ravens are in an important game or not an important game to where we know what the outcome's going to be, you think I'm going to be a co-host on this podcast and not ever talk about the Ravens, regardless of who the opponent is?
Just admit to me that this was not an important game.
Going into it, I thought it was. It's a divisional game. The Browns have talent, and yes, they had some injuries, but the Browns have weapons on offense. I mean, when you look deeper into the game, Nick Chubb was killing us. Kareem Hunt,
yards.
Huh?
He had 50 yards rushing.
Well, I'm just talking about the chunk yards that we were giving up. Not so much that, he ran for $160 or anything like that. I'm just talking about per carry. Like, there were certain carries where he gouged us for 12, for 10. And then Kareem Hunt, who I forgot, was on the team. And by the way, he did get an extension, if I'm not mistaken. Kareem Hunt did. He, came in the game and he gouged us, for a couple plays there. It was 10 yards here, 11 yards there. And it's like, whoa, like we still a little, shaky in that run defense there. So, going into the game, yeah, this was a big game to me.
Okay.
Now I'm glad they washed them. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I don't even think this is a good. I mean, when I looked at the schedule of games, this didn't even. And let me say this: even as a Pittsburgh fan, in the grand scheme of things, I agree with your very second point. I'm not going to be a co-host and not talk about my team. That's if you'd have led with that, I'd have been with you. Because of course I'm going to talk about Pittsburgh. But in this grand scheme of Week 1, Pittsburgh versus the New York Giants wasn't a.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't. No, because we all know what was going to happen.
I don't know. I had a couple of people telling me that the Giants was going to win.
Oh, come on, stop.
And
Melvin tell you that?
No. I don't even regard his opinion. But you know what I'm saying? He you know what I'm saying? But a couple people told me, now obviously where I am, it's a lot of, Cowboy and or Redskins fans, Cowboy or Redskins fans. So the conversation was, hey, make sure y'all beat the Giants,
Right.
But yeah, man, a couple people were saying to me that the Giants were going to beat the Steelers.
Man, I had no doubt. I had even when the Giants scored on that touchdown to Darius Slayton, and it went up 10-3. I had no doubt that the Giants were going to lose that football game last night. There was no doubt, even after that. And the drive that they had, the 19-play drive, right? Mm-hmm. Excellent drive. Daniel Jones, converted some pretty key third downs on that drive. And then he had to Eli it at the end there.
That wasn't. Hold on. You're not going to. He didn't Eli it. Bud Dupree did the damn thing. That was Bud Dupree. That wasn't even Daniel Jones' fault. Daniel Jones had an option, and right as he threw, Bud Dupree got there. I'm going to speak about Pittsburgh's defense, which I believe is going to be the number one defense this year. Okay. Let me be clear. Saquon Barkley had 15 yards running.
No. He had 15 carries, 9 yards, I believe.
Okay, I'm sorry. 9 yards. Thank you for correcting me.
Yep.
But to say we shut that shit down.
Yep.
Number 1, number 2, number 3, however you want to slice it.
Yeah. He's had a couple of games like that last year where Saquon just didn't get off, the way you expect him to.
Lockdown. Lockdown. Daniel Jones, you know, somebody has to get some type of stats. So shouts out to Slayton, who I think is going to be good. It is good. I'm gonna say going to be.
I got him on my fantasy squad too.
Yeah, he's a force to be reckoned with. But shout out to him. Look, I think I'm almost ready to say good riddance to James Conner, man.
Yeah, it's funny because I didn't even see him get hurt. I just noticed maybe like in the third quarter where he just wasn't there, and I was like, oh, Benny Snell's getting carries. And then they said, oh, James Conner got hurt. And I was like, oh, snap, this dude got hurt again?
And shout out to Benny Snell, 112 yards, I want to say, career high.
Uh-huh.
Did what he needed to do specifically in the second half. But James Conner, man, look, I know what he can be if he's healthy. I know he could be a top 10 back when healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't stay healthy, man. And they say it's not like it might not be a big deal going into week 2 against Denver, but
yeah,
it's just like I'm tired of hearing James Conner not healthy. He's like, we put so much stock into him being healthy in the offense, and he just isn't too much.
Man, y'all going through with the running back position, kind of like what we went through from like 2015 up until 2019, man. Like it's a turnstile at running back for y'all. It's been like that the last couple years, and then it's the same situation here right now. So Benny Snell's getting the bulk of the carries at this point now.
At this point, but they said that I didn't get a chance to look at Tomlin's press conference this afternoon, but I did see that he said he plans on keeping the light on for James Conner, meaning if he can prove he's healthy to play, he'll play against Denver. Another thing I want to point out in that game, look, Ben Roethlisberger knocked the rust off, pretty quickly. It probably took him about the 2-minute drill at halftime. I won't say quickly, but he looks like he's back. Because he's back, Juju Smith-Schuster is going to be the recipient of that. I don't know if he's going to be a number one, the guy's number one. But I'm pretty sure that by the end of this year, if Ben Roethlisberger stays healthy, those number one disparities will be gone. I'm glad Ben Roethlisberger's back on this team.
Well, I'm gonna need to see y'all against a much better opponent. I kind of like what you're saying about Browns Ravens. We all knew what was gonna happen there. I'm kind of saying the same thing here with the Steelers and the Giants. We don't have expectations for the Giants. I need to see more. Now, did the defense pick up where it left off last year? Yeah, they did. The defense picked up where it left off. Offensively, I thought, like you said, the rust was there. He shook it off. Was able to get it going, toward the second half of the game. All fine and dandy. I just want to see y'all against a better opponent. And unfortunately, I don't even think we're going to even see that next week against the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think the Broncos are that good.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, week 3 against the Titans.
So, what's up?
I said, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to pull it up to be certain. If I'm not mistaken, it is week 3. Week 3 against the Texans.
Okay. So. Yeah. Speaking of, and I didn't have this game on my list here, but we brought up the Broncos here. So this morning I'm watching, I think it's Get Up. I think I was watching Get Up, and I watched like the first half of that game last night. It was the late game that came on 10 o'clock, the Broncos and the Titans. And I was at the point where it was like, yo, I am not watching this entire game.
Yeah.
I turned the TV off at 11 o'clock. The score I think was like 7-7 at that point, and I just said to myself, I am not watching this game. I'm cutting it off. I'll figure out what happened in the morning.
I was glad that Pittsburgh was the early game.
So yeah, well, I think to put the Steelers in that 10 o'clock slot would have been not so good. That would have been very disrespectful to that fan base. But
I'm talking about because I could watch it and then go to bed afterwards.
No, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying that I think any other alternative would have been disrespectful to the Steelers fan base to put them on a 10 o'clock game when, we going to sleep by about 11 o'clock, 11:30 on this side of the country. But so this morning, I'm, looking at highlights, and a couple things stood out. Number one, Steve Gostowski missed 4 kicks. I think it was 3 field goals he missed, and then he missed the extra point in that game. And then the other thing that stood out to me was on a final Titans drive before they kicked the field goal to win the game, the Broncos had 3 timeouts, and Vic Fangio elected to not use any of those timeouts to stop the clock and basically got ripped for it, which he should have been ripped for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't just, go in a game and just keep timeouts like it's, like it's money. Like, you got to use them when you think you're not going to, see the ball. If they, if the Titans keep running the way they're running. So I thought that was just interesting. It was a low scoring game. I think the score was like 16-14 or something like that. I'm glad I turned the game off.
Yeah. Is this a playoff team, the Denver Broncos? Like,
hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no. And I don't. And I'm gonna say it right now. Vic Fangio is not a good coach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just off the strength of that, and off of some questionable stuff he did last year.
Does this game, in your mind, hypothetical time, is this game different if Cortland Sutton plays?
Probably. Probably. It's probably different. But again, I think you have to look at a future Hall of Fame kicker missing 4 kicks as probably the reason why this game was close in the first place. Otherwise, the Titans would have been up 12 points in the game.
Maybe.
So we'll see. We'll see. I just got one more thing to say about one other game here, and I try to tell these niggas about the Colts, man. I try to tell these niggas, man. Like, Phillip Rivers, look, he played a good game early in the game, and then he gave the game up. He coughed it up.
Yeah.
He coughed it up, man. The Jaguars are supposed to be the worst team in football this year. They done traded everybody. They starting from scratch, and the Colts just treat this thing like it's all we gotta do is just show up at the stadium and we'll be all good. Nah, man. Like, this is probably the worst loss of all the games this past week, is the Colts losing to the Jaguars.
Okay, I can see that. I would personally go with Lions losing to Chicago, but I mean, I get what you're saying. The Jaguars are a terrible team.
Yeah. Now, the way the Lions lost it, that's pretty big. The way they lost it, but the fact that you playing the worst team in the league that just basically had a fire sale, and Gardner Minshew throws 3 touchdowns. I mean, he didn't have a great statistical day, but 3 touchdowns was enough to. Yeah, well, I'm just talking about in terms of yardage and, completions and, passing attempts. Like, it wasn't gaudy numbers there, but he did score 3 times. And, with the secondary for the Colts, which I didn't even realize was, people kept telling me the Colts got talent, they're stacked, and, and all this stuff. And that.
On defense, I mean, they do have talent on defense.
Yeah, I agree there. I mean, there's some talent on defense, but particularly the secondary.
Yeah.
There's some issues there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they can fix that.
And we certainly got to mention that Marlon Mack is out for the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, torn Achilles.
Yeah.
Torn Achilles. I had him in the fantasy starting lineup this week. Shout out to Marlon Mack. Get well soon, man.
Yeah, and let's hope that I can sneak Naheem Hines in the rotation.
So you have him on the fantasy?
No. Okay.
Okay.
I'm attempting to get him He's on my waiver order.
Oh, okay. Because it's funny because I was looking for him on the waiver lineup and I didn't see him. So I was like, oh, somebody already got this kid?
Oh, maybe that was my other league that I tried to pick him up in. Okay,
oh,
maybe it
okay.
wasn't.
I didn't see him. I could be wrong about that.
So somebody has him then.
Somebody's got him, so.
Damn 16 teams, man.
That's what happens, man. When you start digging deeper into that waiver wire, man, you seeing players with a projected score of 5 points at the highest.
Try one, right?
It's tough. It's hard.
I ain't gonna lie. I still like the challenge though. I ain't over that. I'm not over that challenge yet.
What challenge is that?
Of trying to win a 16 team league. I know you don't have those types of problems.
Yeah, I haven't had the problems lately. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun though. Yeah. So, what you think, man? I just want to give a shout out, and we'll go to basketball real quick. I got to give a shout out to the black quarterbacks, man. 10 starting black quarterbacks this week.
Yeah.
8-2 was the record. 8 wins, 2 losses. Dak Prescott, I think, lost against the Rams, and then Teddy Bridgewater, who, by the way, Teddy Bridgewater had a great game against I guess you call them the Vegas Raiders now.
Great game. You think he had look? Don't get me in a pocket where it feel like I'm shitting on black quarterbacks. I wouldn't say he had a great game though. Like, yeah, you did that twice today. Where it was like he had a great game. I don't think he had a great game. He was good.
Okay.
He was good.
I mean, I won't argue there. I thought, because I mean that was a sort of an up and down game there. It was back and forth. And, the Panthers just kept, getting after it. And, they lost the game, but I thought he played well.
He had a good game.
Yeah, he definitely had a good game. He belongs as a starter. Mm-hmm. Just so I get that out there. Teddy Bridgewater keeps that starting position. He earned it. He earned it. Yeah.
He earned it.
Absolutely. So shout out to all the black quarterbacks, man, doing their thing, man. I love to see that. You're talking almost 30% of the league. And
just to add to that, the majority of the black quarterbacks are in that top 5, top 10.
Yeah, yes,
sir. Of those 10 quarterbacks, a hefty percentage of them are considered to be the best that the league has to offer.
No doubt. So it's funny, right? So I'm watching football, and I forgot the basketball game was on Sunday. It was a 1:00 tip-off.
Yep, definitely didn't watch that.
You said you didn't watch. You didn't watch any of it.
Of course not.
Okay, I can respect that. I was back and forth. The Ravens game was
playoff
on.
Basketball.
What's that?
I said I get it. Playoff basketball.
Yeah, it's playoff basketball, and then the games were just so the Ravens game, and of course, I love to see my team blow out any team, of course. But I was flipping back and forth. You had the Eagles and the Washington team on, which for a while looked like it was going to be a blowout, and then I forgot the Nuggets and Clippers was on, and so I turned to that, and that looked like it was a blowout. The Clippers was up by like 19 points. And then I go back to the Ravens game, watching that game, and then I get a notice on Twitter that the Clippers were just up by 1 point. I'm like, oh God, like these niggas blew another lead like this again. So turned that game on. We had that game on for about maybe a good 10, 15 minute stretch. And I gotta tell you, Maestro, the Nuggets was giving it to him in the second half, bro. Mm-hmm. Like they couldn't stop Jokic for nothing in that second half. And now it's a Game 7 situation, winner take all tonight. And I said it on Twitter, and y'all Doc River fans, y'all want to be upset at me for bringing this up, but I'm sorry. Like
I won't be upset at you.
Every series, like. When he's up 3-1 or he's up 3-2, he struggles to close these series out. I'm sorry.
Trey, let me go ahead and say it for you. At Maestro Styles on every single social media platform. If they lose tonight, fire
He's getting
Doc
fired.
Rivers.
He's getting fired.
Fire him. Fire him. He got to be gone. He should get another job. He should definitely get another job.
Yeah.
But gone. Should be gone. And let me go a step further. I have the Nuggets going to the finals. So you know where I'm at with it tonight.
You going Nuggets all the way tonight?
On Nuggets tonight, man.
All right.
I wouldn't be mad if I'm wrong. Wouldn't be mad if I'm wrong. You know, whatever. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I've been wrong plenty of times in life. But right now, Doc Rivers is about to be fired from the LA Clippers. They are going to lose tonight, and enough is a damn enough. Enough is enough. What else can he do here?
He could win the damn game. I tell you that he could win. He could forget about all the naysayers from these past couple of games and just be like, all right, y'all, like, come on, it's go time. Like, LeBron waiting for us. Like, let's go.
Yeah, like, what are we playing? Like, why are we even here when we know we waiting for the Clippers-Lakers conference finals? Why are we even here at Game 7?
Yeah.
Why are we even here?
Yeah.
So it's like, nah, bruh. He's getting fired because he's losing tonight. It's going to be Denver and the Lakers, Western Conference Finals.
Okay.
Look, I'm devastating.
Look, I'm gonna pick the Clippers because my finals pick was Clippers versus the Celtics, and I don't even like saying that.
Right.
But you know, the Nuggets are here. The Clippers are in this position. I still gotta rock with the Clippers until the whole thing comes off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I tell you what, man. If the Clippers and I guess this is hard to say too because Game 5 and Game 6 they came out firing all cylinders, and they just haven't been able to close a deal. You know. And people forget this franchise still has yet to make the conference finals.
Yep.
So you got that hanging over this team as well.
Hey man, Doc Rivers might not be the one to save the Clippers. That's all I'm gonna say. Man,
and I don't want that for him, man.
I don't either.
I really don't, man. But I gotta put it out there. I mean, you go back all the way to when he coached the Magic when he had McGrady in his prime. This dude doesn't close series out quickly, man. Either they blow 3-1, leads, they blow 3-2 leads, and they end up losing a series. That's happened on maybe 5 or 6 several occasions under Doc Rivers. Yeah. Whether it was with the Magic, whether it was with the Celtics, or whether it was with the Clippers. But
let's also put in perspective that he did win a championship in Boston.
He did.
So that I'm not I just want to make sure that that's also put on the resume as we talking about. But me personally, I'm speaking about his run with the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yep,
has been lackluster.
It's disappointing.
It's disappointing.
It's disappointing. Yeah,
It just is. So on that note, when he loses this Game 7 to my prediction, he's going to be fired. Speaking of firings, not necessarily firings, Coach D'Antoni of the Rockets, he says that he ain't coming back.
Good riddance. I could care less.
He's sick of that shit. Greek Freak saying or what I'm hearing is that Greek Freak is saying he don't want to be there. Bucks say they're gonna do their damnedest to put together a championship roster. Don't have no faith in that.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. So I saw your tweet. I think it was Sunday morning. I saw your tweet about Giannis, and
I don't even remember what my tweet was about Giannis.
It was basically saying, so Giannis is requesting a trade now.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Because I didn't just see that from you. I saw that from several other people. And
that's why I tweeted it because I saw it. I saw it.
Right. So I'm looking around. I'm looking for like the real like sources. Like I'm looking at Wojnarowski. I'm looking at what's my man name? I can't think of it right now. But I'm looking at these
Dependable
guys.
sources.
Yeah, and I didn't see anything in regard to that. Now, as far as them wanting to spend above the luxury tax, that's cool. They're gonna have to trade for somebody. I don't think they're gonna be able to get anybody, that's a free agent to want to go there and try to win a title. I just don't, and it's not, and I don't want to sound like Stephen A. because every time a small market team is in this situation, it's always they don't want to go to this city, they don't want to go to that city, it's nothing there. I don't want to disrespect the city. Let me be clear about that. I don't want to disrespect the city, but reality is reality. These players want to be in spots where they can make money, they can get endorsements.
Or it ain't no taxes.
The weather is nice, there's no taxes, all that stuff. And unfortunately, Milwaukee is not on that list of places where you can get all those things. So you're going to have to trade for somebody. And
who the hell are you trading and getting somebody and building a championship team, though?
Well, I heard, who was it on First Take today? It wasn't Stephen A. It was somebody else. It might have been Kendrick Perkins. No, it was Vince Carter that said this. He said, hey, look, you got Bradley Beal out there, tearing it up. Maybe they could take a run at Bradley Beal. And just to kind of further my point, as far as what the Bucks would have to give up, there's not a lot that they have that they can give up. Middleton is probably the only guy that you got as an asset to where you say, okay, it's Middleton and his draft picks. Because they got nobody else. Like Brook Lopez, don't give me a break. Eric Bledsoe, give me a break.
Yeah, and if I'm the Wizards, if I'm the Wizards, I want Middleton and Bledsoe, and I want your draft pick, and I want your draft pick.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give that up for Bradley Beal because let's be clear, Bradley Beal is a baller. He is a dog. I'm not super like Bradley Beal and Greek Freak. Is that Bradley Beal and Giannis Antetokounmpo? I'm not looking at that like, oh, this is going to change that.
You don't like that pairing?
I like the pairing because I like two players getting together, but is that going to be the thing that's going to take Antetokounmpo? Because let's be clear, Antetokounmpo is still the guy on that team. He's still the quote unquote alpha dog,
right?
And he ain't an alpha dog, but they're going to keep running the offense as if he's that guy. I don't know if that's going to be enough.
I think if you pair him and Beal together, and you get another coach, like it can be Budenholzer, because I think there's times when I think Budenholzer thinks he's still coaching the Hawks at times. I think if you get another coach in there that's going to get the best out of Giannis, and that's going to be able to say, okay, Giannis going to do his thing throughout the game, but Bradley Beal, we need you to be that closer. We need you to be that dude.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
I think that's the way it's going to have to be. And Giannis is going to have to...
Do you think they beat the Heat with Bradley Beal this year? If Bradley Beal is on this team this year, Chris Middleton's gone. Do you think they beat the Heat this year? Obviously,
no. Not not with the circumstances being what they are. I mean, the season was cut short. They took a long, layoff, and then they're back. And quite frankly, the Bucks hadn't been the Bucks even in those first 8 games. To be honest, and I get that there was nothing to play for, but when you just kind of look at the chemistry and the way they've played, something was off about them. So I would say no, they wouldn't beat the Heat with Brad Beal this year. Next year, I think they have a much better chance of beating the Heat.
Okay. I'm not sure about it. Let me say that. I'm not sure about it.
Okay. But it's going to have to be Greek Freak. I mean, Giannis, you do your thing. Brad Beal, you need to be the closer. You need to be that nigga in the fourth quarter. You need to be that dude that when we need 10 buckets in a row, you got to be that dude.
I love that idea for Bradley Beal, though. I do love that idea.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he could. I wish we could get Greek Freak to come to DC for that.
Yeah. Stephen A. said something about that too. Like he was against the idea of Giannis going to DC. I don't know why.
I don't know why neither. But look, if by some way, some notion they could pull off Giannis, Bill, and John Wall coming back healthy.
Yep.
I'm here for it.
John Wall throwing up them gang signs.
I'm here for it. I look, blood it out. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Look, how you feel about that, John Wall? About nothing in my book.
It's nothing. I saw his apology on Twitter. I mean, I guess my thing is this, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I was totally oblivious to him being, a blood.
I didn't know what those things he was doing. I like, it's funny because when I saw the video of it, I was like, okay, all right, that looks familiar. But then when I saw it in the game, I was like, never picked that up. Clearly, I'm not a gang member.
Right. Yeah, so, and it's funny because, and I guess it's just been too long for me because I grew up in the neighborhood, with Bloods. So, and I've seen that a lot and just never, when watching Wizards games, just never picked up that.
Because he's done
that's
that.
What he was doing.
He's done that. Yeah, like John Wall has done that. It looks familiar. He's done that.
Yeah.
On several occasions.
Yeah. Look, man, I think it's much to do about nothing. If he felt like he needed to apologize, then hey, that's what he had to do. Hopefully he comes back, and I'm just talking basketball here. Just come back, man. Get healthy. Help the Wizards, man. Guard. Yeah, man. It's been a minute, man. I can't even remember the last time I seen John Wall play.
Right.
It's been a minute.
Right.
So, yeah. Shout out to John Wall, man. So who you like in the Heat and Celtics series? Game 1's tonight going on right now.
Celtics in 7, but because I say Celtics in 7, I'm sticking to that because that was my prediction.
Yeah.
But man, I would love for the Heat to go to the finals with Jimmy Butler. I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, I definitely don't care for the Celtics. Yeah. And as far as the Heat, I used to hate the Heat back in the day. But I like Jimmy Butler. What's up?
I said there's no way you can hate the Heat now. I mean, after Dwayne Wade era and the LeBron era, like you can't hate.
Well, I'm not even talking about that era. I'm talking about.
No, I'm just saying, like that hatred you had from the '90s had to dissipate once Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, it did. It did. But yeah, I mean, it would be dope to see Jimmy Butler in the finals. I agree with you there. It would be like Miami versus the Lakers. I could see that. You know what I mean? Like I could see that. The storyline would probably one of the storylines would be LeBron going up against Pat Riley and that whole thing about why he left Miami to go back to Cleveland, that kind of a thing. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Yeah, I have to stick with my pick, unfortunately, because I did pick the Celtics to go to the finals, too. I think they take the Heat out in 6.
Okay. I'm going 7.
Okay. Yeah, so I wish I don't know what she did to my TV. Usually I have the games on here, but Natalie did something to my TV. I don't know what. Can't watch the game right now. But yeah, that'll be a fun series to watch. That's like an evenly matched, like, roster for roster. Like
with the Heat and the Lakers?
The Heat and the Celtics.
Oh. Okay,
I think roster for roster, like you got some good matchups.
And then this is a good test for Jay. I mean, we keep, trying to crown Jason Tatum. This is a good test.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum versus Jimmy Butler.
Right. Every time I watch Jason Tatum play, and as he gets, I guess, closer and closer into this pantheon of, top players in the NBA, I will always go back to his rookie year when they was in the playoffs against the Cavs. And that time that he dunked on I don't know if he dunked on LeBron or that he bumped into LeBron after he hit the dunk. I think it was like Game 7 of that series in the conference finals. But it just seemed to me like from that point on, like, yo, like this dude had the dog in him all along. like he ain't scared of the moment. Like you need buckets, he's gonna get that to you.
Yeah, well, like I said, this is going to be a good test to see what a good litmus test to see where he at, because Jimmy Butler is going to take it to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's not going to play with him. He's going to take it to him. So it's going to be good. It's going to be crucial to see how he responds and to see where he at in that journey to being one of those guys in the league.
Yeah, for certain. At this point, you said you got do you have the Nuggets winning the championship, or
no? I haven't going.
You haven't just getting there. Okay.
I haven't getting there. I'm not ready to make a finals prediction yet between the Nuggets and the Celtics. Not to jump the gun, obviously,
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm not ready to do that yet.
Okay. Yeah, because I somehow in my mind still have the Clippers winning it all, but that could all just dissipate in the next couple of hours. So.
And listen.
So I just got a few shout outs, and then we could, kind of close this thing out. Just want to give a special shout out to Naomi Osaka, who won the U.S. Open. So shout outs to her. What's up?
And shout out to her. Congratulations, Black Queen. We love what you're doing out here. Let me get all of that out the way before I get here. Did you see a Facebook post where Naomi, I'm about to mess her name up. Naomi Osaka, and her boyfriend. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend is a rapper named Corday. YBN Corday. Well, he just took the YBN off.
Yeah.
Rapper from DC. I'm not sure if you're familiar with his music, but there was a picture that posted on social media.
Middle finger.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there was a conversation about, was that appropriate? I would love to know your thoughts on it because I didn't see you in the thread.
I did see the thread, and I'm gonna call this brother's name out. His name is T Lot. He's in that. I think it was the Two Live Stews group. I think. Mm-hmm. I did see the thread. I saw the post, and then I saw everybody's comments. I saw your comment as well. Look. Let her shine, man. Let these young black folks shine. Like, why does it have to be all the time, we're not representing ourselves properly, But look, there've been plenty of white athletes who are at the top of their game that haven't represented themselves properly, but we don't call it out. Mm-hmm. So I'm of the opinion, hey, y'all do what y'all do. Live your life. You just won the U.S. freaking Open. Like, that's major. That's major. Like, she really, once Serena's, hangs it up for good, like, she about to be the next one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Man, listen, girl, shine every moment you can. Keep that light shining, yo. I'm not mad at it one bit.
It was Corday inappropriate in his picture?
Well, look, of course.
In his post, I guess.
Of course, would I've liked to have seen him throw the middle finger up. Of course, I would choose the alternate, which would be, okay, y'all just taking a photo together, y'all, goofing it up, whatever. Of course. But I'm not just gonna go off rip because he threw the middle finger up. I'm not gonna do that. Like,
I'll say this. I will say this though.
mm-hmm.
To those who are not familiar with Corday, Corday is an extremely conscious young dude. Like, let me just get that out the way. He's an extremely conscious dude. If he did that knowing it was going to be, and this hasn't been a big story or anything, so let's be clear about that.
Yep.
But if he thought that that picture was being taken on the, to be on ESPN and things of that nature, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have did that if he knew that would be the case. And obviously, these things haven't made major platforms or anything of that nature. So with that being said, I'm led to believe that this was probably something on his Instagram or something like that, and that a couple of people found it and posted it for a think piece or a topic to conversate about. With that being said, I have 100% no problem with it. And even if he thought that would be a something that would reach ESPN news table, I would implore people who think he just did that to be an ignorant black boy. I would implore people to check his resume about the things he talks about and the type of conscious cat he is. If that would have been intentional. I have 100% no problem with it. Let that black boy live. He out here. They are a beautiful black couple out here in America, getting money, shining, prospering. Like you said, let them live.
And if I didn't say this before on the show, I want to add again. Naomi Osaka canceled one of her matches last week when the Bucks boycotted their game and then everybody else kind of followed suit. She was the one that said, hey, I'm not going to play in this match because of what's going on. I'm going to bring awareness to this. So she a real one for that too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, let these let them live. Like I said, I would imagine that this, especially considering that it hasn't caught any hit any major newsrooms, that this was a personal picture on social media or something of that ilk. And if it was that, let that black boy live and let that black queen continue to prosper. The slander is unnecessary in my book. But shout out to those, shout out to those that feel otherwise.
Yeah, a couple more shout outs to get through here. The Dallas Stars get to the Stanley Cup final last night, so they're going to go against whoever wins between the Islanders and the Lightning tonight. And then Albert Pujols gets to 660 home runs in his career, which ties Willie Mays for 5th on the all-time list. So shout out to Albert Pujols, future Hall 100%. Of Famer, getting it done. So, if you got nothing else, man, I'm ready to call this thing quits.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm hot up here. Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Miss Mocabella, Big Kev, Vince Wright, Big Illinois 73, repping the BFTN network.
Yes,
appreciate everybody here in the chat. You can find us on some of these platforms. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on Google Play, Apple Podcasts, and also Spotify. We got the YouTube page. If you got YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Our social media is Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. We got the Facebook page. We're also on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2, which really, I'm using it most of the time.
It's your page.
It's really my page at this point.
You're representing the company. That's why it's funny, because when I see you posting, when I see you getting in your Raven bag, it's like, ugh. But hey, man, shine, black man, shine.
Hey, man, I gotta let it be known, bruh. Well, they can find you at Maestro Styles on Twitter and on Instagram, right?
everywhere that you can find me on social media, I am at Maestro Styles.
No doubt. And you can find me also on Facebook and at Trey Fraser on Instagram also. And speaking of which, our Week 2 NFL picks, we're going to do that on Instagram Live later this week before the Thursday night game. So y'all make sure y'all check us out there for those picks on Instagram Live. And if you got any questions or comments about the show, just hit us up at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. So it's Maestro Styles. I'm Trey Fraser signing off. Y'all have a good week. We'll be back next Tuesday. Peace out.
Y'all.